Hey guys, Green Corsair here with my new build for Path of Exile's Secrets of the Atlas expansion, Static Strike Elementalist. So, first of all, why Elementalist? Well, because of the new Liege of the Primordial node that gives us +2 to maximum number of golems instead of +1. And this Elementor here is gone, obviously. Well, that makes it so we get all our 4 golems from normal lab, and it makes leveling very easy. Like golems did make leveling very easy before, and now it's even easier. Uh, Other cool things about the Elementalist are the new Shaper of Winter that gives us basically 20% more life because it reduces the damage enemies do, that chilled enemies do, by half their chill effect. I have not entered that here. You can probably imagine it's 20% more, but you also there are people who say like you have to hit the enemies to be for them to be chilled, and that is a fair point, but it's a non-meta build, which means I will do a disclaimer right now. This is not a build that is the best in the game. This will not do every content. This will struggle, probably at some points, especially in the end game. Probably not before the right like tier 17s and Ubers and stuff. But at tier 17s and Ubers, I am not confident in this build. Um, Before that, I think it will feel very smooth because of the golems, and I do think I will have fun in it. But it is not a meta build by any means. So, uh, Static Strike, let's talk about the main skill. It is basically you attack, and then for in my case, it's for about 5 seconds. These beams shoot out that have currently about a million DPS. We also use shockwave support. We use it for a lot more damage. Uh, so it basically we can use shockwave support, so we use it with because of the frost breath mace as our main weapon. Another so like frost breath doesn't have a lot of damage, and that's why we use replica covenant. Also, replica covenant is not a problem for us because static strike needs to attack only once every 5 seconds, right? So we just take the 94 energy shield damage and we go on with our lives. It gets immediately regenerated. And it's not a constant damage that we take because we obviously are CI and we use energy shield as our life pool. Um, Other interesting things about this is we use Ghost Reaver obviously to sustain the CI, Zealot Salt because the Stone Golem gives us a lot of life regen, so it would be a shame not to use it. Um, and Divine Shield plus this Master here, I think they are very good for sustaining Energy Shield as well. About the golems also I forgot to mention, they all got buffs. The That is also a good part, especially the stone golem with its new 20% defenses that it has. I think that is a great golem, and the flame golem gives us AoE as well. Also, the ice golem gives us flat accuracy. And I guess I will talk about the single target damage now, which is a bit funny to calculate because obviously static strike has itself 2 parts, melee hit and the beams. And during clear we don't use the beams, that is why this is basically our DPS during clear. We don't use the melee hit, sorry. Um, but in single target, you can just go and use your melee hit as well, which basically adds to this number here, the 1.6 mil. We add another 900,000, which basically makes it about 2.5 mil single target DPS, which is not bad. It's not the 100,000 millions that people do, but it's a funny and interesting build. So, static strike. Let's talk about the biggest issues with this skill, which is that it has a lot of problems that need solving. So first of all, obviously you need the duration, because otherwise you might as well use a normal melee skill. So yeah, that is why I'm putting here for the this duration cluster. Uh, Another problem is obviously rage. A big problem is accuracy in this particular version of the build. I cannot there aren't any accuracy clusters nearby. So basically the closest one is here, but it's very awkward to take. And I basically have reserved to obviously using the ice golem, the new ice golem. I have written all of the new stuff from the elementalist in my weapon, because I am dumb and I did not figure out that I could write it here, except this line here, obviously. So yeah, that is why I have 66% effect of heroes and 66% mana reservation and 60% global defenses from the stone golem and 1200 accuracy from the ice golem. And then I do get some accuracy from my helm and accuracy from my gloves. And from the precision, obviously, which currently is level 11 because I cannot run it much higher. We'll see how it pans out. I will figure out some of these things will probably change in when I play the build, but for now it's this way. Um, yeah, the gear is normal energy shield and armor things. I have done some interesting things. For example, this helm might be a bit too hard to achieve. We'll see what happens. Oh yeah, another big problem that the static strike skill has is that it really wants this +1 target on the strike skills. And if you don't put near any attack masteries, obviously it has the non-val strike skills target one additional enemies. But I really cannot fit any of the attack masteries in this build. You basically need to use rare gloves and use the Exarch influence on it. Uh, Otherwise, it feels kind of shit if you don't have this. Other interesting things, I don't think there are any. I use double circle of fear. Uh, these are fun to like buy. Basically, I can probably farm a few of those. Um, yeah, the 50% increased cold damage while affected by hero device is the biggest multiplier for this build. So that is why it's double circle of fear. Might use like a single circle of what is the thing called? The Herald of Purity one that gives physical damage reduction. So I don't know. I don't know if it's needed. We will see again whenever I play the build. Friday, of course. uh, yeah. Otherwise, I have this animate guardian set up here. it is not included in anything as stats. We will see what exactly I determined on doing, but I could use the Guardian's Blessing plus some aura. The level 1 Guardian's Blessing obviously has 30% reduced aura effect with 20 quality, that's 20 I believe, 25 reduced aura effect. And if we enable it, I can gain a bunch of armor or a bunch of damage. Not a ton of anything obviously, and I do need to sustain the 8% life and energy shield as physical damage per second, which is not trivial. I might drop this Guardian Blessing stuff and then give it another defensive support like minion life, for example, and I might like flip one of those golems in its forelink, and then the golems might get like the elemental army support, I believe it's called. So I get free exposure from there. Otherwise, other interesting things. This obviously, this tincture might be good for damage with the 12% pen. If the block currently for is a bit low, I would love to use Tempest Shield, but I don't think it can fit in the build in any way. So I might use Reckless Defense, one or two of those. So about the minion defense, I currently have these 3 nodes, which I do believe they are good, but we will see. I will try out basically. If they don't work out, I might go for this the Grave Intention clusters here, or I might just go like another Joe socket and just go a few Joe sockets with for minions, right? With minion life regen. That is why I also went for this here, for this cluster here, because of the minion life regen mostly. I will try it out. We'll see. I might drop the whole cluster here and basically go for the Heart of Ice, or maybe for a for a cluster jewel. This Megalomaniac, obviously, if you have something like with Primordial Bond, which is a great cluster jewel notable for golems, and something else useful, you can try to fit it in the build. I think it's very much usable. Why the fire cluster, I guess you might be asking? Because currently my damage on the static strike is very low on the fire. Because of this 100% increased damage, which is basically a ton of damage. And it also gives us a bit of AoE, which is great for the shockwave. Otherwise, something I am missing. The code mastery I'm using is fizz converted to code, because we obviously scale a lot of code damage. So it's useful for the static strike to convert. Obviously, it converts half of it to lightning. That's where we have this lightning damage from, and it converts the other 40% to cold of the physical damage, and obviously we're left with a bit of physical damage, just so it's annoying to run Fizz Reflect maps. Yay. Yeah, I think that is basically it for this version of the build. I did want to mention that I do have another version of the build, which is my first version, an evasion character. Basically, it does have less DPS, but it does have a bit more of the problem solved. It kind of scales intelligence, and that's because of this master here, the evasion per 5 intelligence, and also the accuracy equal to your intelligence. And with these two nodes, I do have, like, the accuracy is obviously very much more solved in this build than the other one, but I am missing, I think, the sustain from the Divine Shield plus this armor master here is way better, and also the other build is way tankier for sure. The 10k evasion, I don't think it does enough to basically satisfy my need for tankiness. Uh, it obviously does have 100% spell suppress with this here, with this wheel. And yeah, it's not that different, but it still is, I don't know, I think it is a bit worse. And it obviously doesn't have rage. That is the most important thing here currently. The rage wheel that I am getting with the other one is missing. So even though it says 30 rage here, it's because I do have it at 47 for the other build. But I do get only one rage from here. Yeah. And intimidate also from here. So the lethal pride is very much more less how do you say it? Less options you have on the lethal pride. Yeah, so the armor build, which is the better one, the important thing, is also the lethal pride here gives me a lot of strength, which this build needs a lot of strength while leveling. So yeah, let's talk about the leveling last. The strength while leveling will probably come from here, but before that, I will probably level as a summoner, like a golem answer at normal lap, and before that, whatever. I will probably take these minion nodes here, this minion node, and maybe then just go with the normal build and rush for the golems. And we'll see what exactly I do. Probably go for the golems and maybe this minion cluster. Yeah, obviously I would need some life at that point. Yeah, basically I will do like summoner until I struggle with it or until I get bored, and then I will switch to this. Obviously, the closer or the more end game part I switch, I will get better transition, because I will probably have Frostbreath. I will maybe have the Replica Covenant even by the time I switch. We will see. But I might just switch at level 60 with shit gear and regret it my entire life. Uh, so yeah, that is my plan for the Secrets of the Atlas expansion league start. Let me know what you think. Maybe you have some thoughts on improving the build, and maybe something wasn't clear and needed explanation. I will leave the path of building in the description, and have a fun league start.